Hi everyone, welcome to my Friday session, live session today. I'm doing it a little bit earlier because of the availability of my speaker. She's handling a few schools and it's a bit easier for her when the kids are all asleep, as well as I'll be having another live session on Clubhouse at 8 p.m. today. So if anybody's on Clubhouse, do look me up and join in the live session, COVID-19 in Malaysia. Today we have with us Ms Patrecia George from Little Human Scholars. She's the head of education there. And let me just see if I can add her into the room. Hang on. So we will be talking. Hi, Limin. Thank you for joining us. We will be talking about how the pandemic or COVID-19 pandemic has actually affected the education industry, especially early years, so pertaining to daycares, kindergartens, nurseries, preschool, play school, and how it has affected all of us in terms of what we can do for our kids, what we can do to protect our little kids, especially the ones below 7. I have another session coming up next week as well on special needs children, so please tune in for that as well. But today's one is specifically for the early years education. And let me just see if I can add her in. One moment. Okay, that's fine. We'll just wait for her to pop in. So yeah, so early years education. So if any of you are teachers or educators and would like to ask any questions, if you'd like to ask any questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A part, because sometimes when I see a lot of comments in the section, I can't see the questions and it gets lost. One second. So on the right-hand side at the bottom of the screen, you will see a little bubble that says question, the exclamation mark. No, sorry, the question mark. So click on that, type in your question there, and I will be able to ask the questions to Ms. Patrecia as soon as we get over with the questions that I have prepared for her. So Patrecia, I see you've just joined us. Do you want to just click on the link, request to join, and I can just, because I tried inviting using the Little Human Scholars, but I can't seem to do that.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Patrecia.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope all the little children are nicely tucked in, having their afternoon nap. Yeah. So I've got half an hour or at least a few minutes of your time to answer a few burning questions that I've been having, especially since I've got 2 younger kids who are in the early years, as well as 2 schooling kids in the lower primary level. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, can. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And of course, thank you, Dr. Rakhee, for allowing LHS to be part of your Insta Live. Excited. It's our first time. Anyway, my name is Patrecia George. I'm the head of education for Little Human Scholars. We are a premier preschool, play school, baby program in Petaling Jaya. So we started off in 2014. And we provide excessive range of services for children. Children at their early years. So from 2 months up till 6 years old. So there's different programs, and we also provide like hourly drop-off. So hourly drop-off is for parents who need daycare on a weekend or on weekdays after working hours. So we do provide stuff like that as well. So yeah.
Okay. And you also have 2 schools, if I'm not mistaken. One is for the smaller kids, and you separate the older kids as well. So I think if it's below 3 and below, it's a separate building
Correct.
altogether.
Yes.
And 4, 5, 6 is a different building.
Yes.
So they're separated. So for parents out there who are worried that, the babies will be mingling with different kids and all that, it's 2 totally separate buildings. Correct. Nearby each other. So they're not too far away from each other, but there's still 2 separate buildings. And you have different set of teachers to handle all of them. And I liked when you mentioned that hourly drop-off. I think that was one of the most interesting things to me, because not many places have hourly drop-offs. I think the one that grabbed my attention was a parent who wanted to go and just catch a movie with her husband, and they dropped off the child for like 2 hours, and you guys, made the child so happy and play at the same time, while the parents also had a little bit of me time. So that's a really good aspect of a little special aspect that you guys have at Little Human Scholars, and you're located in PJ,
Sector 11.
nearby University Hospital,
Correct.
right? All right, okay. So as a teacher or an educator, how has your center changed over the past year since the pandemic?
Okay, this one I would like to share on both areas, if possible. I'll share on a teaching perspective and also management perspective, so you can hear
Okay,
both of it. Okay,
both sides.
yeah, both sides. So basically, as a teacher, right? What has happened is this change of classroom. So kids normally when they come to school, they would want to play together, have fun, always mingle with their friends. The social setting is there. But ever since COVID-19 came in, we had to segregate all classrooms. So every child, like every classroom has their own space. No more mixing around, no more combined activities, no more events. Everything is like separated, So that has changed. It's quite sad for the child, they can't, mingle and mix with everyone and things like that. So the next one would be more on social effects on children. So, it's a good thing in a way, but it's also affecting. So children during the pandemic, they've been at home all the time. They've been at home throughout the lockdown and things like that. So they've been very attached with parents, which is good because, parents get to spend time with their kids at home. That's good. But when they come back to school, then we have kids who are clingy, they are very much into, wanting attention because they're so dependent at home, right? So they come to school, they need to be independent. So that has changed a little bit. And of course, in their eating habits, their routine, everything has changed. So it's like a whole new adaptation back again. So that is one of the change. And of course, in the classroom size, number of students in a classroom. Pre-COVID days, right, we used to have like about 14 to 15 kids in a class, but now our class size is like 8 to 10 maximum. 8 to 10 kids in a class. So the kids don't have that many friends to mingle around. That has changed a lot. And of course, reduced hours in face-to-face teaching. The kids have all now gone into online classes. It's all online. It's a virtual world out there already. No longer, having that face-to-face physically in school. That has been a challenge as well, especially for teachers who are doing online classes. So they will need to create fun moments online for kids to enjoy, just like how they're being in school. So that is basically how it has changed in a teaching perspective. Okay. So I'll go to so management side of it. So management, right? The temporary closure of physical premises. That has, it has caused a lot of difficulties for the school itself. Of course, the teachers will have to go online, prepare activity packs and things like that. But going online, it has also reduced the number of students enrollment in the school setting. We have parents where they've decided to either freeze your account in the school or, temporary withdrawal, because we're all uncertain of how this pandemic is going to take place, right? So many parents, they expect for a discount, discount because they're not able to, fully enjoy the services provided, which we understand completely. Everyone is going through a tough time at this current moment. So so it is, but it's just that in this industry, during the full lockdown, right, cash flow for childcare is one of the main effects. Like, it's definitely affected lah. So, and it's also has affected the results, for teachers, their paychecks. So all those have been, like pay cards and things like that. Has no option, because we want to provide, we want to make sure that everyone is able to survive during this tough time. So we have to give that pay cards and things like that. But one thing is, we are very blessed to have a group of teachers who've been so supportive. They've been so supportive during this whole pandemic. They do their very best in online teaching, preparing craft, even supporting like myself in this role. So they've been amazing. On top of that, we have also put ourselves on like physical risk in, you might have contact with children or parent, who may have exposure to COVID-19. So we put ourselves physically risked at this area. Any other than that would be the higher cost due to the health and safety measures that we've taken. The implementation of SOPs, making sure the teachers have everything they need, things like that. So yeah, it has changed tremendously in both areas.
I see. So when you mention events were cancelled and things like that, so I remember the last concert I attended from LHS was 3-4 years ago. So even
2019?
huge events like this, so 3 years back. So the events like this also have been cancelled, which brings a lot of togetherness for parents as well as for the students who are attending, and the kids get to prepare a presentation.
Yes.
I miss my little kids going up on stage and dancing to some songs, and and all of us crying, oh, my kid's so happy, oh, look at him on stage, and I miss all those things as well. So I'm pretty sure parents out there miss it. Teachers miss the fact that they could train the little kids to do the cha-cha or something like that, wear really cute little clothes for their...
Correct. The togetherness as a team, when you have a
yes,
concert, you get
absolutely.
everyone together, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, the classes are smaller, so that makes it even more difficult for the kids to even make friends, to maintain the friends. And I think on the parents' perspective, everybody, I guess, would want a discount at this point, because they feel they're not getting enough from the school, in the sense that my kid's at home. I'm not paying for your electricity. I'm not paying for, the equipment. I'm using my own food. You're not providing the food, so I should be able to get a discount. That's the parents' perspective, So on your part of it, there's so much of overheads that you have to pay for, that you still have to maintain a certain amount. So I guess we've all had that pay cut thing and all. So there's so much that has changed over the past 1 year in terms of early years education. So what are the SOPs that you have in place in your school to maintain the safety and the safety and the health of the children who are attending physical classes? I mean, besides the few moments of lockdown, you do have students attending physical classes. Yes. What are the safety measures you have in place?
Okay, so currently we do have like our frontliners, their children are all in school. So, daily screening for all kids is actually done on a daily basis. So you take temperature. But this daily screening, we've already done it since 2014. So it's not like a new procedure or anything.
Not something new.
Yeah, it's not something new. So it's something that we've already done. But on top of that, we've also had hand hygiene. So every classroom, they have their own washroom. They have their own sanitizer dispenser. Even in the common areas, there's sanitizer. The dispenser is there everywhere. So for kids to reach it, there's also for teachers or parents if they need to use it. On top of that, we also have like cleaning. We make sure we clean the classroom, disinfect the toys. So that is done on a daily basis, at least twice a day. So we do it in the morning, and then we also do it in the evening. So we do it twice a day. So that is also done. Mask on all kids and all parents and teachers. Everyone is all on mask, except for me, because I'm alone in the office now, so I'm not with a mask. But anyway, so all the children above 2 years old. So we encourage children above 2 years old to wear masks. So we do have children who are below 1 year plus, where they start wearing face shield. That's fine. It's a good start for the 1 year old. So that is something that we do. Ventilation. So we make sure we ventilate the classes, the school, windows are open on certain times of the day. Kids do go out and play. We do allow the children to go outside and play. And of course, the last one would be physical distancing. So we do physical distancing. See, for preschool, physical distancing is good. They can follow through everything. Make sure they have 1 meter apart. But of course, for play school for below 3 years old, we do.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But the kids actually, they are able to do it, of course, with stickers, and we have those tiny boxes in the classroom. So they make sure they follow. They need to stick in their box. So they are able to
sort of like a reward method.
Correct. And even like messy play or any play activity, they all have their own individual toys and individual containers. So there's no sharing also. So that's, in a way, physical distancing now. So
Okay. I'm going to pick you a little bit on the hand sanitizing part of it. So for the younger kids, how do you ensure that they don't accidentally, spray into their face or other parts, or, and when do you get them to go to the sink and actually wash their hands?
Okay, so every activity, every time when an activity is done, every activity, the kids will go and sanitize their hands or wash their hands. Best still, they will just wash their hands.
Okay.
So there will be a caregiver
Right.
that will take them to the washroom, then there's a thing, and then they will just wash their hands there. The sanitizer are
Okay.
not children's eye level. So it's actually on the adult's eye level. So the children can't simply, like play or
Okay,
get
yeah.
everywhere. No. So the teacher is always there to make sure that the child is able to do it. So we will make sure that the child.
Okay, so it's always out of reach for the children.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And is there anything parents should be aware of when they're sending their kids to school?
Yes.
So what should they, we do have some parents who unfortunately don't really tell the truth, or when their kids are sick and they send their children to school. I mean, this was even before the pandemic. You see a kid snuffling and feverish and coughing and everything, and they say, oh, but he's fine, and I've got work, so just send. Yeah, it's just a normal flu. Now it's a pandemic, so for me, anybody who coughs, you got COVID. So but anything that what can parents do?
Okay, so I mean, we encourage parents to be 100% transparent with the school. If at all you have any exposure with, COVID-19, let us know. I mean, that's really important so that we know what to do next. Transparency is very important. And of course, if your child is unwell, please keep them at home. They can be at home. They don't have to come to school. We can do online teaching, but it's best for them to be at home. You don't want to, affect the other kids, other carers, everyone who is in school. So I think that two things is very important: transparency and also keeping your child
honest.
Yeah.
So now we have this thing called the My Sejahtera, where it's written what your risk level is, for parents. I mean, all adults, we all have this, most of us at least. And it says, low risk, person under investigation, or, casual contact with symptoms, casual contact without symptoms. So do you check those for parents if they drop off them, or is that part of the SOP you might think of taking up in the future?
Yes, I think that is something that we can look into future. But what we do now is we normally provide parents with the health declaration form every 1 month. So they still fill those up. Yeah, so that is definitely on a 2 weeks. But getting to check their My Sejahtera thing, that would be a very good thing.
Because now even malls, before you enter, the security guards will stop you and say, itu My Sejahtera. And then, even though they don't speak much Malay or English, they're just My Sejahtera. That's all they know.
Correct.
So you have to show an updated My Sejahtera to enter malls, major public places and all. So I think it will be something good to actually bring up once we open up the MCO and things like that. And how do you monitor sick kids? So like if a parent actually has sent you a child that you realize, oh no, this kid's not well, I don't want to mix the kids with other kids and there'll be a cluster in the school or something, even if it's as simple as hand, foot, mouth days those days, so how do you monitor sick kids in your school?
Okay, honestly, we do not accept children who are sick to school. So as long as the child is sick, it's immediately you take your child back home. You make sure that your child is kept at home. But saying that if at all the child is, when they come in the morning, they are fine, but throughout the day,
and they become sick.
Develop fever or anything like that, we will immediately isolate the child, and then of course with a teacher or a carer. So there's always someone with the child, and then I will normally.
You have a sick bay in school?
Sorry?
You have a sick bay in school, like a separate room?
Yes, we do have a separate room. We have quite a number of separate rooms in the school, empty rooms that we use. So the kids get to go into an isolated room where they don't have to mix with other kids and things like that. So I will definitely inform the parent. And then, thankfully, God's grace, our parents are very much aware to, this.
Supportive.
Yeah, they're very supportive. And, they're aware of the pandemic itself. If the slightest symptoms, they actually make sure within the next hour they are here to take their kids back home. So of course, once the kids go back home, then the whole room is again cleaned and sanitized. Basically everything that is touched by the child, just for preventive just to make sure that So we make sure that.
All right, and now our minister who's handling all the vaccinations are talking about vaccinating educators, right? So do you believe that all the staff and teachers should get their COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes.
I remember a time, okay, good. I like that way you answered straight away. I remember a time when my younger ones were going to school and I was so worried that if one teacher had it, it would affect the whole school because the teachers mingle amongst each other and sometimes they go between classes. So yeah, so you agree with me that the
Yes.
educators of especially early years education should definitely get even
Yep.
staff,
Yes,
right? So
definitely.
if you have a
Everyone.
kakak who's cooking food and all that, you know, you also want her to be vaccinated.
Yeah, even
So
our
have you all
parent
registered
staff.
for the
Correct.
vaccine?
Yes, so definitely we want everyone to be vaccinated, including, see, we have transporters, we have our drivers, we have our security
Ah,
guards, even the foreign workers, the kakas and all of them. So definitely we
yeah,
want them to be vaccinated. School should be a place where kids and parents can feel safe. So I
safe.
think, yes, safe. So I think in order to reopen schools back to their normal, setting, every staff, every teachers need to be vaccinated. That is very important, very important. If not, we need to curb the COVID-19 pandemic itself. We need to come to our normal selves again, normal lifestyles back
Yeah,
again. I don't think so everyone is able to go
absolutely.
through this again.
And another point in that is if you vaccinate the teachers, at least you sort of bring a little bit of protection to the little bubble of children that you have
Correct,
in your care. You know, so
correct.
you know that none of the teachers are going to infect the kids, and you know that these kids are actually safe. So sort of like a herd immunity within the LHS community. So I like to think of it that way. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
very important. What most importantly is we need to build the confidence back in parents that you're going to send your child
absolutely.
to a preschool, a play school. It is safe for your child. We're giving them a safe
Yes,
environment. I think parents need to get back the confidence. Like we're providing a safe environment. So it is very important for
very
everyone to
important.
get
Good.
their vaccination.
I'm glad you agree.
Actually, some of our
So do
teachers
you
are
have any?
already
Mhm.
vaccinated.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, yes,
Excellent. So I
and
guess most of y'all have already registered, just waiting for a
correct.
date.
Yes, we are
Yeah?
all
Okay.
registered, just waiting for a date, and some of them are already vaccinated.
All right. And I'm pretty sure KJ will come up with dates in the next 1 or 2 weeks regarding educators' separate pathway. He's been mentioning this a couple of times during press
Mhm.
conferences. So there will be a separate pathway for educators because we want to make sure that before school reopens, hopefully in September, the teachers at least are vaccinated,
Yeah.
to reduce sort of cluster spread amongst the teachers. So do you have any last comments or any tips or advice to parents who are sending or planning to send their kids to kindergarten, daycares? Any tips that you have to them?
Of course, there
Or any
is.
comments, any advice?
See,
So many.
the whole times are changing. Everything is changing now. I think what parents should do now is not to just focus on the educational part of it. It means not to only focus on the curriculum, but also focus on how the school maintains their SOP, how their cleanliness are, how hygienic the school premise is. That is very important. Not just look into education part, but there's a whole different spectrum where you have to make sure that the teachers are vaccinated or the school is clean. Make sure you have a proper disinfect. There's sanitizers everywhere, things like that. I think parents need to focus on that now because times are changing, and of course have a bond, have a relationship with your childcare provider. It's very
Yes.
important to have a transparency with the person who is looking after your younger one and also the parent. Make sure they
Yes.
know what is happening, and vice versa. We tell parents, make sure you what is happening, things like that. So one thing that we're doing in Little Human Scholars is that we provide full CCTV access for all parents. So it's just an
Absolutely.
app. It's just an app. You download the app, you can view everything. So that's total transparency. Like you see our day-to-day activities and things like that. So
I love.
I think
Yeah.
the bond is very important. Sometimes parents come,
Yes.
you just drop off your child, but you don't know anything that is happening, or we
What's
don't
happening?
you
Yeah.
don't know. You
Yeah.
don't know.
It's very important. I think one of the main things, like I mean, if I was staying in PJ, all my kids would be going to you, but I don't stay in PJ. So unfortunately, I have to find schools nearer to my house. And that was, I think, one of the main things that I actually asked them. I want to know who the principal is. I want to know that there's complete transparency between me. If my child is hurt in any way, I need to be informed immediately. I'm a little bit of an OCD mother, so even if my child has a little prick somewhere or something like that, I want to know. If my child
Correct.
vomits, I want to know. If my child falls down, I want to know. So when you
Yes.
said you have CCTV all around, I was like, wow, blew my mind. Like, oh my god, I know what exactly my kid is doing. Oh, she's having lunch. So it's so nice, and I don't even have to bug the teachers nonstop. How's my child? Is everything okay? Did she learn anything? you know, but I just have to click onto the CCTV app and I know, oh, she's in class today. Oh, she's paying attention. You know, so I think that's really a good, one of the best things that you guys have, besides the hourly drop-offs you mentioned earlier, the CCTV connection thing. I think it's really good and a wonderful, innovative way of doing early years education, because as a new parent, sometimes you find it very difficult to let go of your child. I trust the teachers. It's not that I don't trust y'all, but you find it difficult to let go of your child in the care and in the hands of someone completely a stranger, you know. So not everybody is a relative, you know, at schools that you choose. So sometimes it's a complete stranger, that I would say. And, you know, it's that heaviness of the heart. I'm letting my child go. What if anything happens?
Correct.
You know, so having that transparency, that good communication between the teachers, the principal, and the parent, I think it's absolutely of paramount importance. Yeah. So thank you so much, Patricia. I think this was a wonderful thing. You wanna add something?
Yes, I just want to add a few more things. Okay,
no problem. No, go ahead.
So on top of the CCTV access, okay, see, CCTV you can only view. It's just a video, right? So
yes.
you can just view. So what we do here also is that we provide daily report for parents, like what your child has eaten, what your child has done throughout the activity. Has your child enjoyed the activity, or, you know, anything, everything. We actually update parents on a daily basis. We have like a book journal thing. So yeah, we get parents to fill it up also. The teachers fill it up on a daily basis. That is one thing. And then, of course, among all the other initiatives that we are doing, we are also going to launch our YouTube channel. So LHS is going to start our own YouTube channel, where we would include like suggestions, strategies for parents who are working at home during this pandemic, and especially when they have children at home with them during this pandemic. It has been tough. I've heard a lot of inquiries on parents, like, how do I, you know, keep my child busy, or, you know, how do I make my child behave and things like that. So we are going to come up with this. So we're going to launch this soon. So just stay tuned. Make sure you check our Instagram, Facebook.
And you let me know once you launch it. I will tag it on this video later on. So if anybody looks at this and goes like, oh, this is interesting, and so I'll tag the YouTube channel here. So if anybody in the future comes across this, they can always just look up your YouTube channel as well. I also wanted to mention that LHS is another special aspect. They have their very own pediatrician.
Yes. Her name is Dr.RakheeYadav.
So yeah, so LHS students have a special pediatrician that comes and sees them. Before this, it was actually, I had clinics in the school. So I used to run clinics on Saturdays for parents for free. And children used to come and see me. And if they had any issues, you know, from discussing about their vaccines to discussing about their nutrition, this was one thing that I think no other school had. That I am aware of. So I mean, these are the unique things that I think some other schools also maybe can look into. Not that you should hire me as a pediatrician, as in the fact that, you know, there are many aspects that we have discussed today to actually improve safety, the health, and the confidence and the transparency between a parent as well as an early year educator. So is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
No, that's
I think it. All right, excellent. So this was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined in today. These videos will be up on IGTV if you've missed the beginning or anything like that. They will also be up on my YouTube, and I will be sending a link in the post later on. So if there's any questions, please DM me, or please DM Ms Patrecia or Little Human Scholars. You can look them up on Instagram, and we'll be happy to answer any more questions or clarify anything that you may have. Thank you so much, Patricia. This was so nice. Nice seeing you as well. I haven't seen you in such a long time. I'm seeing everybody on virtual online things, and nobody's seeing physically. But I mean, we have got to stay safe, stay home, stay safe, go virtual.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.